Hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Rachel Garceau, and this is your First Alert Weather Plus forecast coming off of our final weekend of July that ended up being a very smoky one. That air quality on Sunday dipped near hazardous levels across portions of the Treasure Valley, the worst air quality we've seen in 2 years in southwest Idaho. And unfortunately, my top headline is that at least for the foreseeable future, I do anticipate smoke to stick around, and that means we will have impacted, aka poor air quality. I'm thinking at least through midweek. The only silver lining here, maybe besides those really dramatic sunrises and sunsets, is that the smoke will hold down our temperature. So if you have to brave the outdoors for any amount of time, highs that would be up near 100 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be more like low 90s. So I don't know if that's really a silver lining, as most of us won't be outside much to enjoy the cooler weather anyway. But regardless, still going to be hot and smoky. Those are really our big weather words for this next week. You can see by Thursday and Friday, we bump right back up to the triple digits. So if you are going to be outside this week, again, remember air quality is forecast to be at least in the red or unhealthy air quality category in Boise for Monday, likely into Tuesday. And then we just kind of take it day by day. Remember, so much of air quality, smoke density really depends on fire behavior, and it's almost impossible to know days in advance how the fire is going to behave and how fire suppression efforts, aka the firefighting efforts, are going to go. So in the short term, if again the fires hold steady like they are right now, we don't see much containment on the largest fires in southeast Oregon and far southwest Idaho. The outlook through Monday and into Tuesday is that we'll continue to see pretty dense levels of surface smoke. Remember, the reds and oranges we see here mean we have high levels of smoke at the surface. The purples are very high. Those are the areas you'll see that hazardous or very unhealthy air quality. And that will likely again be the case at least through Tuesday. In the mid levels of the atmosphere, we have that flow coming in from the southwest. So that is dragging that smoke in from the south and the southwest. And then we have surface winds from the west and the northwest. So that just means the Treasure Valley is surrounded, as this is where all the fires are burning. Now, if we had fires burning off to the east, it would not be nearly as impactful for the Treasure Valley. But because all of the smoke and the wildfires are off to our west and southwest, and that's the direction of our winds, it is just blanketing the Treasure Valley with that smoke. Again, it will ebb and flow throughout the day. It's tough to predict exactly how bad that air quality might be, but we do have an air quality alert from the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality that is in place at least through Tuesday. I would not be surprised to see that expanded out even further. I know a lot of us are hoping for maybe a big storm system to roll through, drop a lot of rain, put the fires out, maybe even just some wind to help scour things out, mix things up a little. I'm not seeing any chance of that for the next week. There is a front that will come in on Sunday. That unfortunately will just bring in some wind. I'm not seeing any rain with that front, but you can see we're hot, dry, and smoky for the foreseeable future. Now, this doesn't mean there's no moisture in play. Let's look at our futurecast. I'm going to let this roll out through Monday and Tuesday. You can see in far southeast Idaho, a couple storms could fire off on Tuesday. Pausing us here, this is Tuesday afternoon. There is a chance in the Magic Valley, mostly south and east of Twin Falls, but chance of a couple ominous clouds, rumbles of thunder, some quick gusty winds. That clears out, and then we'll see another round of monsoon moisture moving in late Wednesday. Again, mostly impacting far south central Idaho, but fire concerns because of the possibility of some storms with lightning strikes and gusty winds. Fire concerns do remain elevated, even without storm activity over eastern Oregon and far southwest Idaho. With the hot, dry conditions we have in place and the possibility of some increased winds in the afternoon, fire conditions are just elevated everywhere. Now, as we look at our big picture, we have a ridge of high pressure that has been just kind of parked to our southeast over that Four Corners region for quite some time, and we now have an area of low pressure that is also going to spin its wheels for a few days off to the west. And so in between these two features, that's what kind of is funneling that air from the southwest up into our neck of the woods. And as I put our futurecast for our upper level pattern into motion, you can see neither one of those features really moves for at least 3 or 4 days. Now, on Friday, we saw on that temperature trend outlook that we saw those temperatures getting up near 100 degrees by the end of the work week. That's because this ridge of high pressure is expected to amplify northward. At the same time, the low pressure center, the trough off to our west, will also be on the move. And finally, by Sunday, it looks like it will spin off a little piece of energy that could bring a shot of cooler air our way into southern Idaho. And when I say cooler, I mean we go from about 100 to the low 90s. So nothing all that noticeable, but it does put a damper on the heat just a bit and will bring in some breezy to blustery winds over the weekend. And that is something I guarantee you that fire crews are watching very closely, likely hoping we can get the majority of these fires at least mostly contained by that point before Mother Nature cranks up the wind machine and makes those firefighting conditions even worse. All right, temperature wise, to start off the work week, we'll be in those low 90s for the Treasure and Magic Valleys, upper 80s with smoky sunshine in the mountains. And as we look off to the west, how refreshing to 79 in Seattle sound. We will hit those temperatures, but that's about mid-morning for us as we'll continue to warm. Now again, smoke will keep a lid on our heat potential Monday and Tuesday. So Tuesday, we really don't see much change as far as those temps go. You can see to our north in Missoula, they're at 95, Billings and Casper in the 90s as well. So a very toasty start to the work week. By Wednesday, if the smoke starts backing off a bit, we'll likely be up closer to 100 there in Boise. Still off to our west, that cooler air is having an influence. Very comfortable 78 in Portland for the middle of the week, 76 in Seattle. Again, we won't see temperatures cool really until the following Sunday. We'll be on a warming trajectory through the work week and the end of July. By the way, on Friday, we kick off August on Saturday. And in the mountains, it'll be hazy sunshine, but sunshine overhead. You can see those temperatures in the upper 80s Monday through Wednesday, likely hitting the low 90s in McCall Thursday and Friday. Beautiful mornings with those lows in the low 50s early on, but still, even if you're headed to the mountains, you won't really be beating the heat, just maybe escaping the triple digits that are expected in the Treasure Valley. Magic Valley outlook, smoky skies will likely persist over in Twin Falls for Monday and Tuesday, potentially beyond. We'll be in those low to mid 90s to start the work week. Normally we're around 90 in Twin this time of year, so not all that unusual. But then, just like the rest of the region, we'll see a spike in those temperatures Thursday, Friday, Saturday, reaching a little closer to 100 degrees, cooler and breezy on Sunday. But again, at this point, that front looks completely dry. No rain coming in, just the wind. And looking at the 7-day outlook for the Boise area, we talked about the smoke keeping temperatures down Monday, Tuesday. Beautiful mornings in the 60s. If you can stand the smoke for maybe a quick walk around the block, that might be the best time temperature wise. But I also expect that in the mornings, maybe when we see the densest smoke, aka the worst air quality. So it's kind of a pick your poison type situation these days, where you might have less smoke in the afternoon, but it'll also be the hottest part of the day. Now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that will be our hottest stretch of the week. Temperatures right up around the century mark in Boise each and every afternoon. Wind picks up a bit on Saturday as that front comes in, dropping us back down to a slightly more bearable 93 to wrap up our first weekend of August. Thanks so much for tuning into this First Alert Weather Plus forecast. We'll catch you next time.